Hello, good morning, and warmest welcome again to yet a fresh edition of our program, Closeflow, here on NTA2 Lagos Network Center. My name is Fola Martins, and it's my pleasure on behalf of the entire crew asking you to join us again in the studio as we continue to x-ray how far we have drifted from what we hoped that this country would have been by now, or how close we are to the goalpost of making sure that Nigeria becomes one of the greatest economies in the world by the year 2020. Now, would that just be a phrase or, well, maybe a slogan that all of us should begin to live up to? We decided, therefore, to invite into the studio yet another critical element, another critical sector, in the Dream Nigerian project, to let us analyze how close or how far we are to becoming one of the best countries in the world. This sector, incidentally, has just now assumed a vanguard position in the way the Nigerian economy is being perceived globally. The players in that sector of the economy are becoming very, very vocal and very, very outstanding across the globe. The players in that sector of the economy are making Nigerians, or one in every 4 Africans, to feel so proud to be black. But how much of that greatness have we truly appropriated to the practitioners, to the practice, to the trade, and to the entire nation, and for the benefit of all Nigerians? Our pleasure, therefore, to invite into the studio in this edition of the program the president of the Motion Pictures Distributors of Nigeria, Gabriel Okoye. You're welcome to Closeflow.
Thank you, Martins.
Gabriel, incidentally, is my friend, but we all know him in the industry as Gaboski.
Yes.
Many of the Nollywood followers and Nollywood addicts and fans will probably know him better as Gaboski, but his real name is Gabriel Okoye. Yeah, Gabriel, you're welcome. Now, let's go straight to the heart of the issue.
Okay.
About 4 years ago, His Excellency, Mr. President, actually offered a grant of 200 million naira for the sector, for practitioners in the sector to access and make use of. Where is that money?
Yes. I think before the grant, there was a loan
Okay.
to the industry. That loan is domiciled with the Bank of Industry.
Okay.
And the practitioners were encouraged to go and access the loan. And the Bank of Industry were so open under Mrs. Evelyn Oputu
Yes.
to beckon on the entire creative industry to come and access the loan.
She actually asked people to come.
Yes. And there was proper sensitization. There's nobody in the industry that will not say he heard about it through the guilds, through the associations. And Kenem Baro of the Film House, Film One, was the first to access the loan.
Okay.
For that exhibition platform on a building of cinemas. And thereafter, I was the next to access the loan for also distribution and the brick and mortar, physical and digital distribution.
Okay.
And most of the industry, we might interest you to know that while we are shouting that entertainment industry, entertainment, the second in the world.
Yes, and all that.
Most of our members, the practitioners, were not structured. That money was meant for structured industry.
Gaboski, don't let's jump the gun.
Yeah.
I will say come to the question of the unstructured business or nature of what is happening in Nollywood.
Okay.
But first, so where is that money? Is it
that
just
money,
a rumor or is
that money,
there?
like I said, that money is still with the Bank of Industry. And even Nexim Bank has a share of that money. And it's under that money that Tony Abolo got money to shoot Dr. Bello from the Nexim Bank. And when we couldn't, most of us couldn't access the money, they complained again to the
Mr. President.
president, to Mr. President, who, in his open heart and the way he liked the industry,
Yes.
brought in another 200
Million.
million, which about 3 billion naira, you know, for the entertainment industry again, and then called that one grant.
I
So
see.
the grant is supposed
to support.
to support the loan.
How beautiful. Now,
Yeah.
Gaboski, my producer is saying that it would be interesting for the audience to know that you're speaking the truth.
Yes.
So you have to take off your
All
so
right.
that everybody can see that you are not lying about where that money is.
No,
Okay,
I'm
great.
not, I'm not.
Now let's do something special here.
Okay.
You have said to me now, as part of your preface to what has happened, to how access to that money has been possible or not possible.
Yeah.
So, how properly structured, to be fair now, as the president of distributors,
Yeah.
how properly structured is the business of Nollywood, both from those in front of the cameras and those behind the cameras?
You know, like we normally say in the industry that the industry emerged accidentally. That's the what everybody say. But to me, I normally, when I come to any fora, I just say the industry was not by accident, because we, the creators, we, the originators, did not dabble into it as accident.
Speculatively,
Yes,
yes.
you know, there was a proper articulation. There was a proper planning as business. We went into it as business, you know. Maybe the people that came after us were coming in by accident, you know. But because we went in with proper planning, there was proper registration of all our business and proper documentation of all the things we were doing. From the beginning, I went in with a limited liability company,
Yes.
Gaboski,
Yes.
you know, and my partner then, Cheske, was a limited liability company. Kenneth Nebwe,
Yes.
limited liability
Yes,
company,
yes.
you know, Amaki,
Yes, yes.
But thereafter, the people that came were not structured. They were structured only on television, only on
Yes,
NTA,
yes,
AIT,
yes,
where you
yes.
see this A and B, C, Nigeria
Productions
Limited. But when that money was domiciled, you wouldn't expect Bank of Industry to just be. They said, bring out your documentation.
That's your business plan.
They produce a guideline, and then you have to bring your business structure before you talk of business plan. There was no business structure. So they found out that nobody was able to access the loan. And they started complaining to Mr. President in 3 fora. They told him we couldn't access the loan. He now brought in the grant to support the loan. But the grant, we had to sit in a town hall meeting at the Kolo Meridian.
Yes.
You know, supervised by Okonji Wela
Yes,
and
yes.
Edem Duke.
Yes.
You know, and then we reached an agreement that the grant has to support the creative industry,
Yes.
by supporting the distribution sector,
Yes.
the production sector,
Yes.
and then capacity building.
Okay.
We sectioned the 3, and at that town hall meeting, we decided that 2 billion will be for distribution,
Okay.
750 million for production, and 250 million for capacity building. As I'm talking to you, the capacity building people have utilized their money. They have gone. Most of them went to Colorado and different places for training. The distribution sector has been, the production aspect of it has been launched. Most producers has applied to the Project Act, which was a body set up.
The umbrella, yes.
A body set up to manage the fund. They have gotten some application, screened them, and gotten a lot of people that
They're
are shortlisted, that are supposed to benefit from the production sector.
Yes.
The only aspect that has not been touched is the distribution sector.
Okay, that's where you're coming.
That's where I come in.
Now, I like the way you have analyzed that.
Yeah.
So all of us can now see the premises from where we are operating from.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, let's quickly move on to distribution. I cannot deny the fact, and I'm sure, Gabriel, you also accept that fact, that many Nigerians are not too satisfied the way the movies are getting across in the market. Some producers have complained of, well, as it were, they say they have all sorts of clique. You have all sorts of people who are actually I'm streeting everybody, not wanting to, So what exactly? What is the position? You are the president of that sector now. So what exactly? Do we have a proper structure for the distributors, or are we doing the Nigerian factor thing?
Yeah. When you come to distribution, there's a great difference between distribution and marketing.
Thank you.
Yeah. And when we started the industry, what we inherited was marketing. And we did not inherit this because we planned it. The industry, in a way, came out of necessity to bridge a gap, a lacuna created by the Sept, Structural Adjustment Program, which came in place, and the foreign films that were coming in then
were too expensive.
And the people that are marketing these foreign films were not actually marketing films. What they were marketing was the VHS cassettes that was given to them sale and return basis from the Asian tigers, from Hong Kong, from Singapore, who were shipping containers of VHS tapes to Alaba, to Idumota, to Onitsha, and we were selling and returning their money. So we were not selling fast when the structural adjustment program came, because we were dubbing these films on
like piecemeal.
Yeah, we are dubbing Chinese films, American movies, and Indian films on these VHS cassettes, and we are pushing out. When we couldn't get these foreign films, we now decided, what do we do? That was how we all came and started studying how to get materials from NTA. Which
that was time. I remember that time.
That was how Nollywood came in place. When we got people, we stole some people from NTA to go and produce.
Yes, I know.
Yes, and that was where Okechukwu Ogunjiofor Polo came in. That was where Chris Obirapu Skipol came in. And then when we now started producing, we were still dubbing this thing on the VHS cassettes and pushing. So the foundation of the people that are marketing were pirates. So they were pirates of foreign movies that metamorphosed into selling Nigerian movies. So there was nothing like distributors. So when
nothing like an organized structure for distribution.
Yes. When Emekamba came in, he as DG's Census Board, he carefully studied this with stakeholders like us, and we found out there was no foundation. There was no visible, viral, auditable, and structured distribution.
I like that. Auditable.
Yes.
Nobody can come back and check how many did you.
It's just your claim. You can decide and come out on TNT and say, I sold 1 million copies. It's not verifiable because there is no auditable standard. There is no way anybody can audit you. Even the company that auditing is not registered. So that was how the new distribution framework of Emekamba, of Census Board, and NDF came in. And when we had that NDF, the proper NDF was to structure distribution in line with global best standard so that we can now have auditable standard. That was when we got licensed national distributors and regional distributors. And charge this responsibility to these national distributors licensed that they should try and gather people in the community level, at the community level, and organize them and license them to be their major distributors in the community area.
That means there is a structure now that you can follow. You can trace the movement of one title.
Yes, that structure was where I came in when I became the first national licensed distributor, national president of government licensed distributors. So that is where, but there was no money to activate this
license. Because after all, if you gather the community
yes,
people, how would you fund them?
We found out that the license says that you must have structure in at least 20 states of the federation.
What did you say?
The license, as a national licensee,
yes,
you must have outlets in at least 20 states of the federation. Out of the 36 states, you must have structure in 20 states.
But at that time, you already had about 5 or 6.
No. At that time, I had none. I was only having one shop at Alaba.
Now.
And with other people that are marketing are selling films with all the names you hear on television. They only have one table, one kiosk in Alaba or Idumota. You cannot have any place you can go now and say, yeah, this is a movie shop, this is a musical shop, this is a creative industry shop where you can go and access Nigerian content. Yes. Nigerian content. Yes. Even now.
Up to now,
what we are trying to do now with the G Media is to set up that structure. So every other licensed distributor was charged by the board, the census board,
yes,
to go and set up these
shops,
structured shops, entertainment shops. You have even standard of the shop given to you.
Gaboski, yes, that really is a giant leap.
It is a giant leap. But before you were given this license, you were asked, do you have enough money to do this? You said yes. Can you provide evidence? Most of us provided evidence to the board that we have 50 million. They said you must have up to 50 million for you to take this license, or you bring a bond.
Okay, to that effect.
To that effect. And we provided that. If you go to the census board, you bring our files, you see it. We provided that. But the man providing it is that Nigeria has no even structure of regulation. Because you walk into the bank, you give them small money, they give you the bond.
The bond.
You get to
it's only on paper.
It's on paper. So none of them has, some don't even have 1 million naira in their account.
And
they have 50 million bond. So to activate that license becomes a problem. Until this good luck money came in, that $200 million,
yes,
domiciled in the bank. And we were called now, as national distributors, go and access that fund. That was where I went to access the fund that made me now to activate my license.
Now,
yes.
Okay, now, you also must educate all of us now,
yes,
including our viewers.
Okay.
Now, distribution, you said something in your opening statement, brick and mortar.
Yeah.
Then digital.
Yeah.
Then web. So, where are we in all this? I mean, Nigerians must get to know.
You see, we must be moving with the other part of the world, with the time. Nigeria is not isolated
from
the world. Nigeria is still an integral part of the world. If you go, when me and you started, digital the distribution, or what you call marketing of entertainment products, was purely physical. We were selling cassettes,
VHS
cassettes, and that distribution was 90% digital, physical, selling of the cassettes, and then 10% broadcast.
Yes,
which we give
to television houses like NTA,
AIT, to distribute, to broadcast. Now, the modern trend now is that distribution is 90% digital, while 10% physical.
It is turned upside down.
Upside down. That is what we call bottoms up. You know? Now, if you see a kid now moving, you're moving with phone, watching movie. Yes,
on the go.
Yes. On your son is with iPad, watching movie. There was a time when you hear that somebody has television in his car. It's a big man. But now they have television on their hands.
In their telephone, yes.
Yeah, on their phones. Okay. When you have a movie, this movie is on the internet, on the net. People are streaming all over the world. I don't have to be in Brazil
or
Hong Kong or America to sell my movie. They are seeing it on the net. Now remember, there was a time the stakeholders wanted Copyright Commission to regulate the way their movies are being exported outside the country. That they are exporting their movies and they pirating them. The Copyright Commission waiting, met with the customs and tried to stop it. But after 2 weeks, they now saw that the movies they were not moving from the airport, no physical movie, but outside the world, the whole movie were outside. They now realize that somebody can download all the movie in his phone and pass, and will go abroad and
go and download
encrypt it, and it becomes a movie. So they cancel that. So what I'm trying to say in essence is that
we have moved away from the physical.
Has moved from physical to digital. So Nigeria has to align itself with the trend. We must align ourselves and create digital portals where people can stream, download,
upload,
all our movies all over the world. In my research, I found out that there are 8.7 million cities all over the world. 8.7 million cities all over the world. How many shops are you going to set up in the whole world
for you to sell
everywhere?
Your title.
America and India are not bothered about piracy because they have gone digital. Nigeria is still battling with piracy because we are still physical.
We are still at the analog level.
Analog level. We are still battling now to digitalize our stations. And when you digitalize the stations, you have to digitalize the content.
Yes.
So
naturally.
what the problem we are having now is a generation gap. There is a generation gap between the people that we are practicing before and people like me that are moving all over the world, networking, finding out that without going digital, Nigeria cannot make it.
Okay, now I like that. You have given us the two sides of the coin, as it were. First, we have looked at the fact that we are coming from somewhere and where should we be going to now.
Yeah.
Now, there's a report that the Nollywood is about 800 billion naira in terms of value. Do you agree with that figure?
I agree perfectly, more than that. But it's not in the pockets of the stakeholders or the producers. What they are doing is that they are making content for people that have understood that digital is the answer. And they are uploading their content or bringing out their content to the digital kids who are using their content to enrich themselves. So
I see.
What the world is looking at is the overall value of that industry. But to average producer or a filmmaker, he's a wretched man. Go and see them. Most of them are facing landlord problem, tenancy issue, because they cannot pay their bills. But they are still being welcomed outside, recognized as, hey, see him, star. And for him to live up to that image, he has to be parading himself, even borrowing money to go out to some places and eat and make a living. He cannot enter bus.
Yes.
He has to enter taxi, drop, and come to your place and say, give me money to pay the drop. I say, did I force you to enter the drop?
Give it up. Don't tell me the story again. Because I remember that we were sharing these stories years back. But now let's come to what really is prevalent now. As distributors, what are your stakes? Would your own interest only lie at the point of generating income from this content, or would you also be interested in reinvesting in the content providers themselves?
You see, when I got the loan from the Bank of Industry, and the bank insisted that you must provide collateral for you to access the loan, I was thinking that we had to just come and get the loan using the licenses the government has given us, so that we go and activate and then see how we are going to gather the industry and make a move. We found out we couldn't do that, and we had to use our property to get the loan. But in getting the loan, I looked as a businessman. If I get the loan, set up shops and start building the portal for digital streaming and download, what happens to the average producer? How would I get the content? Where will he get money to give me the content? And I went back to the bank and said, how can you also help the average producer? All over the world, the international practice is that I issue distribution guarantee to you because I've pitched your script and see that this is a commercial script.
I like that. Say that again, please, for the benefit of our viewers.
Because the international practice is that when you want to make a movie, you have had this dream and you conceive the script, you go to a distributor and pitch your script. And the distributor will set up a panel and they will listen to you and say, yeah, this will make
this is
me
sellable.
money. This is sellable. And then they will issue you a distribution guarantee. This distribution guarantee will enable you to enter any financial institution. Say Gaboski or G Media has issued me a distribution guarantee that if I make this script into a movie, that they will guarantee to sell 1 million copies. And this 1 million copies, 100 naira will give me 100 million. So if I can get 10 or 15 million
from you guys,
I have equipment already. I have actors and actresses that can also give me the backing, and I make this film and give Gaboski. Gaboski will pay you the money back. And that is international practice.
I like that.
You know? And then
I
talk to the bank.
Tell me the truth now.
Yes.
Are we having that here?
Yes and no. Yes, in the sense that when I spoke to the Bank of Industry, they agreed. They said, yes, if you set up this, we can do that. When I spoke to some banks to see whether they can support the Bank of Industry and issue the same guarantee or respect the guarantee
that you are provided.
That I'm providing. Most of them say the industry is not structured. And I say, yeah, that's why we are here.
Doing this.
We want to structure the industry with you. And no. But to cut it short, I found out that most commercial banks are just warehouses for money. They are not there to help.
To build the business.
No, there is none of them. None of them. The Bank of Industry is still there ready to respect that distribution guarantee and structure entertainment in a way that it will help. It will help.
So that they benefit to go around to
yes, because what their job, remember they are a development bank. Their job is to empower the youth,
yes,
to create employment. And to create this employment, they have to make sure that there is return. So there will be continuity. You understand? So what they are trying to do is to make sure that we don't harass them or harangue them or coerce them in doing the needful. They are trying to do the best of judgment to entertainment industry.
So that you can just the sustainability.
Yes, the way they handle other sectors of the economy.
Yes.
So that there will be sustainability. There will be people that will come
after
and benefit from what they have created. So it's still ongoing. We are still trying to negotiate, but the government must come out because there are some regulations we need.
That's just the area that I want to come into.
Yeah.
Now, we cannot deny the fact, though, that just like you're a business person, you have decided to acquire sufficient information, knowledge, and let's even say references on how best your business should thrive. If we must have a private sector driven economy, do you think many of our business people, including bankers, are becoming too lazy or laissez-faire, or just like you said, they are just portfolio carriers? They're really not interested in building an industry. Is that what our problem is before we come to where government should be coming?
Yeah, our major problem is the financial institutions, the banks. The banks. You see, development is not just about building bridges, building roads, or erecting fine houses. That's not development. When you erect fine houses, build fine roads, tarred roads, nice bridges, and the Nigerians cannot even climb, cannot even enter the houses because they are impoverished. There's no development. The problem is that the youths are being churned out every day from the universities.
Yes.
And they have talent. But when they come out, there is nobody to encourage them. They only when you go to some of the banks, if you are intelligent and you have ideas that you want to showcase, if you're a girl, they will look at you whether you have fine leg, whether you can easily attract man to deposit to bring money in the bank. If you're a guy, you have to know your physique and know where you come from, who gave you paper. So you discourage a lot of graduates. Then, when you now have this system, how can you be creative? A lot of people that can write are no more writing. Even a lot of people that can teach are no more ready to teach. That is why the educational sector is
coming down.
Do you know the latest thing now happening? Most of the businessmen are moving down to Abuja since they have seen that there's no need wasting your time. You can join politics and start carrying money.
I like that.
You know, so
Gaboski, we'll take a break. I like that. It says maybe the next destination point for you to be the best businessman around here will probably be Abuja. That's Gaboski. He's just nailing it the way it is. If we must develop the environment, it's not just about roads and bridges, but also about the resource that we have. All right. So we'll take a break. Don't go anywhere. Gaboski is still here, and I'm sure we'll know a lot more about Nollywood when we come back for the second half.
Lagos Network Center, your reach out station.
Thank you for staying with us. We still have the president of Movie Owners Association of Nigeria still in the house. So far, he had lit so many things on the table, but I think the most critical element is how all of us as collectives, as Nigerians, can be part of baking the national cake when it comes to what Nollywood can do for this country. He's not too happy that a sector of the economy has not actually played its own role, that is the banking or financial sector, in spite of the fact that Mr. President has given so much goodwill, you know, to see how practitioners in Nollywood can take Nigeria to where everybody says Nigeria is. We are the second biggest movie making country in the world.
Yes.
You accept that?
Yes. Yeah. In terms of quantity, but not in terms of quality. In terms of quantity, we are number 2, followed by India. You know.
So we have even overtaken the Americans?
America is doing film. They are doing digital film. We are DTH, direct to home, highest producers in the world. You know, and
now I like the way you seem to have studied this coming back from where we started when all of us were still doing the VHS stuff. But we still have just like I would like to use a phrase which I find quite descriptive, the brick and mortar thing. We still have that also. Now, how about distribution at that point? Is it anywhere close to what is happening in the world?
Yeah, it is like every other business. The shops are supposed to be where one can move in and buy creative works, entertainment product. But unfortunately, our shops are domiciled inside the market. You will see a shop that is selling movie. At the same time, is selling dudu soap. Is selling a biscuit. Is selling Indomie. That's not a creative shop. That's not a creative shop. What we are trying to have is like Blockbuster, like BHS, like you know what you have abroad. You can enter and see that
is dedicated to this particular.
You will be selling DVD, VCD, CDs, USB, 3D Blu-ray, entertainment magazines. You know, PlayStations,
Yes,
games.
yes.
Then when you enter there, you know
Even
you have
branded
T-shirts,
apparels.
branded apparels for all our stars. That is a movie shop. But because of the way we are having those shops, and because there is no regulation, what you find out in these shops is that there is confusion. There is no shop for creative work, and the people that are there, because they are making it look like child's play, and because they are not auditable to anybody, what they do is that when they look and they cannot find anything to do that day, they can duplicate even the job you have given them to sell it very cheap and make money to eat that day. If you imagine a situation whereby you finish a movie, think about the movie Yawande Sadiku
Yes.
and Mukhtar got money to produce Half of a Yellow Sun.
Yes.
That money cost, that film cost up to $8 million.
Yes.
And when they were still busy showcasing the world,
Some guys have gone out.
some people have taken it. And I woke up in the morning, I was advertising in my portal that the next big movie coming
Out of Nigeria.
out of Nigeria from G Media is Half of a Yellow Sun.
And behold.
And the Tango with Me. And they told me that you have released though. I said, no, I have not. They said, come to the bus stop and see. I went there, wheelbarrow,
Filled
on the
with
side of the road. People had the movie Half of a Yellow Sun. I looked at it, picked it on a piece of paper. What I'm trying to say is that if there is a proper regulation on the content, on the packaging, a standard of packaging,
nobody would bear.
Nobody
would
would
buy
bear.
that.
And why this? If you have a standard package, the man that will wake up in the morning and carry 1,000 movies on his shoulder,
Yes.
packed inside a nylon, and come to the bus stop, he needs a truck to carry the 1,000 movies because they are properly packaged.
Yes.
And the first thing, if government wants to regulate, is to clear the. Do you know that we brought in? I went to Ghana and I found out that we brought in Census Board and the Copyright Commission
To that place.
to Ghana. The minister there told me when Obanikoro was there,
Yeah.
the Ghana people say Nigerians must go, that they are spoiling their
market.
economy and the market. And I was the person they sent with the Film Corporation and Census Board
To go and speak.
We met Obanikoro as the ambassador and went to the minister. We were embarrassed. I thought I would just talk to the minister, and he put hand under the table and brought a jute bag and said, what do you call this in Nigeria? I said, jute bag. He said, don't be silly. Tell me if you are here. I said, we call it Ghana must go. He said, he put it back. He said, I just want to let you know that we are not the first to tell our brother to go. From your statement, you were telling me that why should we tell our brothers to go? But let me be frank with you, my gentleman. The reason is that before Nigerians came in here, we were selling our movies for $5 equivalent. Nigerians came, their own was worth more than ours because the production quality was more.
Better.
$7. We were saying at least we'll have people that will drag us up. The next thing, Nigerians brought their own to $3, and our own went to $2. The next thing, they brought their own to $2, our own went to $1.
No.
So we say they should leave before they finish our economy. In Ghana, they don't have 31 in 1 or 101 in 1 or 3 in 1. They don't have it. There is proper regulation.
Yes.
And we brought regulation to them. So what is wrong with our country? The regulatory bodies are not regulating.
Yes.
If you go to the market, if you have standard packaging, if you have standard structure, what is going to be a shop for entertainment?
Will be a shop for
Will
entertainment.
be a shop for entertainment. And that person must get proper license,
yes.
and proper approval, proper recognition by the government.
Before you can set up that
That
shop.
is the new distribution framework Emeka Mba set up.
Okay. What we will need to do, I would like us to look at the clip. I hope my producer has that ready. I want us to see the quality of some of the things that Gabriel is trying to show us now. That we must have a different profile of what the Nollywood can churn out, what Nollywood would like to distribute. So let's take a clip from my producer, and then we'll come back to Gaboski in the studio.
Manner of people would deny you life. Is it not the same God who created them that brought you to me? It will surely wrong you if I should destroy you as they demand. Your own father, a drunkard, cannot protect you.
Mbeke, it is now many months since you desecrated our soil by giving birth to these twin babies. You seem to have forgotten that you're supposed to have done away with them by now.
How do you mean?
I mean, you should have thrown them away or vanished out of sight with them.
Eh? Did I hear you right? Did I hear you say something about throwing away my babies?
Yes, of course. And I can afford to repeat it if you care.
Impossible! My own children. My own blood and flesh. I just can't do it. No! What a cruel society!
It is you, Mbeke, who is rather cruel and not our society. May you remain ever cursed for your wickedness to our society. You hopeless wish. Have you forgotten that it is the custom of our land to eliminate waste?
Why must that be?
Because they portray evil. They are an abomination.
Abomination what? To hell with your wicked laws and customs. Leave my heart. Leave my children.
Look, woman, we have not come here to watch your tears or to listen to your lunatic, crazy screaming, okay?
Yes. Tell her.
Listen once more, Mbeke. What you have done is sacrilegious, and so you cannot put up with us in this land.
And so?
You must vanish with those kids, or you throw them into the forest.
I shall neither throw them away nor live. This is my place of bed. I shall remain here and be killed with them. So go ahead and kill us.
I've had enough of this nonsense. You stubborn bitch.
You evil man! You have what
Well, the horse is here, so let's hear from his mouth. So, where is that coming from?
That came from one of my productions, the Battle of Musanga. And at that time, there was a tradition to eliminate twins. And it was fought by some Nigerians.
Yes.
And you should remember the Mary Slessor story. And that now is history. We see people now moving in. There are even treasures that if you are twins now, you come to Nollywood and start making money. But then you would have gone into hiding. I don't think you would have survived if you were twins. But those are history. We are trying to reenact history and positively, not negatively. We have a lot of, even when we go out to meet in the international community under FIAF. FIAF is just like a world body for filmmakers.
Yes.
Just like you have FIFA. When we go, and I represent Nigeria and FIAF with Alex Enyeho.
Yes.
You know, and when you go there, you find out that they value us because we have a lot of stories to tell.
Yes.
And the only problem is that they always beg us to structure the industry so that they will come for co-production. We have a lot of storytellers. We have a lot of people that are talented, only that we don't have enough money to pay them. So what we do now is, if we want to go to Martins to give us a good story, and Martin said, this story I value it a lot, you give me 500,000. We'll tell somebody to give us that kind of story that we can give 50,000. And they will stay in beer parlor and give us
50,000 naira story.
Yes, 50,000 naira story. And when we finish, we know it's not the same thing with Martin's own, but we end up with "To God be the glory," because Martin did not value us. So
No, that's the lighter or the lighter side.
Yes.
I like that.
Yes.
But Gabriel, it's a dismal story that we are painting here, because like you said, outside of our borders, the entire world anticipates such beautiful stories coming from
yes,
here.
yes.
So how can we get everybody to be on the same table or the same page with us, especially government and bankers? How can we convince them that it is for the benefit of everybody if this industry actually thrives?
You see, the World Bank came in here and studied the entertainment industry in Nigeria and found out that apart from the government, the next big employer is the creative industry.
Amazing.
I was there. They were at export promotion. They brought Nathan Associates of London, who did the work, and who came up with the report. And they advised the Nigerian government to focus more on
Entertainment.
Job creation outside the oil, and then focus more on the service industry, even our education sector, that we can have education tourism, and the creative sector, IT sector. They listed it as you have the paper, and that was how they brought in some money. They donated. Yes, they donated some of the money that is recycling in the industry came from World Bank, and we were given a paper that our own money has been given to our government. Because we continue disturbing them. We finished everything. How far about the Nigerian money? They said it has come through ADB to Nigeria, and if you go into the sector,
you will see that money.
You see that money. That is what Fela comes giving me human rights. That the human rights belongs to me.
Yes.
And
so I can now come back and say you're dashing it.
Thank you. You are dashing me my right. So the issue is that the government has good intention to develop the industry, but in the other hand, the regulatory bodies that are supposed to be regulating the industry
are not just doing it.
Are not doing it. When you go to them, they say they don't have money. And if you have been in this kind of job, you find out you need a lot of money to do enforcement. This money was not given to them to be proper, to be real.
Yes, to be fair.
If you want SCC or Census Board to go out
clamp
there
down, yes,
and clamp down, you should give them the kind of money you give, or you let them have a avenue of raising money. The way EFCC, the way Standard Organization of Nigeria is raising money for them to fight these people. Imagine a situation NCC came to Alaba because somebody petitioned that his jobs are being pirated at Alaba. As they are coming in, the pirates gathered boys and surrounded them and burnt their car down and told them that give us your account, we'll give you money to buy another car, but don't
come here again.
They don't go. If you hear NCC now say you are going to Alaba, they ask you, why? What are you going there to do? And we know those boys that are behind this.
Yes.
We know them.
Yes.
Government is not planning anything. When Okonjo-Iweala led Project Art came in, we did a paper,
sat down,
articulated everything that is to be done for this industry to grow. For you to get the youth
off
empowered.
The street.
You see, the industry is having a lot of people that are sheltered by Nollywood. But without giving them proper empowerment, you cannot get there. So they need proper empowerment. They need proper empowerment for you to get the industry up its feet again. Nollywood stakeholders cannot do it alone. They need government intervention. They need government to sanitize the market. Without you recouping your investment,
there is
no way a producer will stand. There is no way you will have an industry. Our production has gone down.
Yes.
Why? Distribution drives content. without proper distribution, I cannot remunerate you. You cannot follow your money. There will be cash flow. There won't be inflows and outflows.
So you can actually
So
say
what
to
we are
yourselves,
having now is inflows without
you're saying
outflows.
outflow.
So it's affecting the industry. Most of the people that are supposed to be creative are going away. Why? Because they are not getting returns on their investment. The banks will continue saying there is no return on the investment. We cannot. Remember, these banks have actually come in. If you remember Nollywood Project,
Yes.
if you remember all the films in the banks have sponsored, just take for instance now Half of a Yellow Sun. If the Yawande Sadiq, if he cannot recoup that
money,
1.2 billion naira,
nobody will get another
no,
chance.
then nobody will bring in big money again into the industry. Everybody will be thinking how to produce Aki and Popo. 200,000, 500,000, and you are done. So no matter how it sells, even if you sell to your family,
It's okay.
as I was
At
coming
least you'll
down,
cover the
I
money.
saw two boys
On the bridge.
on the hold on, wearing this kind of thing that Chosen gives
Yes.
Nigerians
members, yes.
and they were just advertising movie. The rain is falling on him because if they sell 20, 30, they have made the money that
For that day.
that man produced. He's the producer, the actor, the wife cooked, and the children also
And now the marketers.
marketers.
All right, Gaboske, thank you very much. You have captured the essence of our being of this industry. But Olayinka says, I want to ask, does an up and coming artist or writer can he borrow money as well before you can start up? Can he have access to this fund that you're talking about? An up and coming writer.
A writer is a creative person. You know, if you cannot put the idea that comes into your head,
Before they get money.
on paper, then you don't have copyright.
You don't have anything to say.
You don't have anything to say. So, but if you can put the idea that comes into your head on paper, you have copyright. You have this. Then what you have to do is to take this paper
Material.
to a producer who is a filmmaker, who is the businessman, who understands how to gather equipment, who understands the modern equipment. Because you can, if you are giving money now, you will go and take one camera that they are using for wine carrying and say, I have a film. That is the kind of thing we see. Why the whole world is going on 4K.
Yes. You are still shooting with the...
We are still shooting with
VHS.
mini DV or super VHS. You understand? So we need him to understand that there is processes. There is a writer. There is a filmmaker who is the
There
producer.
is a structure
There is
in
a
the
structure
industry.
in production. So he has to go to a producer who will assess the money. And that producer is supposed to have a company registered by law as a producer. And they have already started applying for the money. The Project Art has shortlisted a lot of people. But for how long?
With
The
this
money, if you remember when we had the meeting at Eco Meridian for Project Art, is Project Art going to be another company that we will be using to herald presidents coming, and any president coming, he will use Project Art to get entertainment people to help and launch him, and then Project Art will be sitting until another president comes. For how long? Nigeria is known for the fastness that they are using to produce movies, and that is what brought them to African magic.
Yes.
We are the only country in Africa that are doing magic, that can make movie within
2 weeks.
Within 2 weeks. That is the magic we brought to South Africa.
To movie making.
Yes. So they named us African magic. Now, this African magic is fading away. If the government can set up a body to build the industry, capacity building, production, and distribution, and for 4 years, they are sitting down. What are you
planning?
If NTA wants to interview people to give them money to produce, for how long will you screen people? Some people that are screaming is dead
already.
Yes, they were screaming Amaki Igwe, Amakigwe died in the process of streaming.
Mm.
So if I tell you all the people that we are working for this money that are dead, you will wonder how many of us will
now
still
have
be
the
alive
benefit
to
of
benefit on this money.
Okay, before we leave, I just want to quickly ask, we have the Association of Film Producers in America. Is that different from what you're president of?
I'm a Nigerian in Nigeria, and I have not been living in America. I'm living in Nigeria, and any product that has no home integrity is not going to survive outside the country.
Shores of this country. Yeah.
The shores of the country. Film association in America should be a film association in America, but some of us that have failed in America to enter their system. American system, when we started, we went to America to see whether we can launch ourselves into Hollywood.
Yeah.
They sat us down and advised us that, where are we from? We say from Nigeria. Say, go home and develop your country. Develop your film industry. And Americans will find you and come. So
Thank you very much, Gaboski. That is just amazing. I don't know what to say to our viewers. I was expecting a lot of questions, a lot of comments, but I'm sure maybe we had challenges with the telephone lines. But do we have where people can reach you?
Yeah.
If they want questions answered?
Yeah. If you go to g-media.ng,
yes,
you will you will see the portal,
okay,
and you can send email at g-media, and you can watch any movie, stream any movie,
and pass your comments.
Yes,
I like that. I like that.
And we are still expecting all the people that arrested their heirs and got tired of production.
They should come back.
They should come back. G-Media is the solution provider, and we are still fighting with the banks, negotiating with them to come in and
make sure this
industry survives.
Thank you very much, Gaboski. It's been a pleasure having you here, my dear friend Gabriel. I think we can do this again sometime. Maybe by the time the election is getting close, I would want to ask you if there's going to be any theme about how we can politically make this very actionable.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you.
And for our viewers, don't you ever forget, the conversation will not end. So go on to www.nta2lagos.com or go to www.youtube.com/NTA2Lagos. Let's have more of your subscription and share with your friends what we have enjoyed with Gaboski this day. Thank you for watching, and bye for now.